Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fed News, the new and improved Fed News. Now, big changes have happened since you probably last seen this. I'm sure you probably wondering where all the graphics went. Um, it's kind of weird, but apparently people were saying that because I use too much WWE stuff, I can get this flagged. So I'm eliminating a lot of that. So with that being said, we're doing a new format, and let's go over the rules right now, shall we? Well, first off, wrestling news. Pretty Deadly's in talk to join UWA Development. That is Ultimate Wrestling Association. That is officially the brand I'm using under the Ultimate brand. Daniel Garcia, though, is in talks with AEW. And Shane Douglas has signed with UWA Developmental. And Johnny Stamboli has also signed with UWA Developmental. So the new rules are the television, the international, the hardcore, only exclusive on Velocity. And international will be represented by the European title, the United Kingdom title. Basically, whoever wins the belt, they can choose what belt they want to represent. So it won't be like WWE European title, that kind of stuff. I just want to kind of stick away from that because I've heard people have had their channels, flagged for that kind of stuff. So I'm keeping the photos down to a minimum. I'm using actual photos of me taking pictures of my custom figures from now on, and the belts that they will be represented under. So that's why it's international. The international champion can have any of the international titles, including the IWGP United Kingdom title, since I have that one on the way, custom version. Championships will not be WWE affiliated, however, the pictures are represented by them. Okay. Now, again, 10 losses in a row equals being fired. And technically, it's 10 losses. So, if they get a win, then it starts over. It's got to be 10 losses in a row. If the dice roll is 1 and the other is 20, then the 1 will be injured and miss 1 to 3 months, depending on the dice roll. Odds, evens, that kind of stuff. I'll roll 6-sided dice, and that will determine if it's a 6, then I cut it in half, it's 3 months injury. Again, this is basically a D&D style game. Contract lengths will be hidden from public knowledge, so some people will come and go when their contract is up, and it's based again on a 6-sided dice. So I went down the list of the 50 people, I rolled the dice, and I put in the number, and every 12 shows when we have a new year, their contract might be up, or it might be a week, a year shorter. Again, 1 week of shows will be 1 month of shows. So every time I post a video, it's going to be a little longer because it's going to be an entire kayfabe month. So it's like the hyperbolic time chamber rules. Except for 1 day here is not 1 year in there. It's going to be like 1 week here is 1 month there. So you're going to have 5 minor shows because Velocity will get a show before the pay-per-view, the pre-show kind of thing. 4 main shows, and then you get 1 pay-per-view. AEW and Ring of Honor and others will be included periodically. They're not going to be consistently happening. I'm just going to focus on the fact that I've got almost 400 Ultimates, and since you've probably watched the World War III video or the Battle Bull video, you probably saw I showed you all the pictures of them. So periodically you will see new photos of debuting guys or new champions. I'm not going to do Fed photos on every show or every pay-per-view. Kind of do it like the indies type deals, like World War III, that kind of stuff. Let's start with week 1. So over in Velocity, Owen Hart defeats Ricky Morton by submission. Sylvain defeats Don Morocco by pinfall, and the Good Brothers defeat Reggie and Chris Candido by pinfall. The main event was see Jey Uso defeat Spike Dudley by pinfall. It was also announced that the minor shows only have 3 matches going forward, maybe 4 on the pay-per-view card, the pre-show card, but we'll find out. But the main show, which is going to be under Superstars, it's something that WWE doesn't do anymore, so I don't think they'll be upset. But Robert Gibson defeats Jimmy Uso, Johnny Gonzalez, Cody Rhodes, Jerry Sags, Doink, William Regal, and Randy Rose by pinfall. Hawk, Animal, Marty Jannetty, and Jesse Gemini defeat Jerry Lynn, Darren Young, Brian Knobbs, and Dennis Condrey by pinfall. The Fiend and Justin Gabriel defeated Simon Dean and Jake Gemini by submission. And then John Morrison, X-Pac, Chris Jericho, and Bob Backlund defeated A-Train, Nathan Jones, Heath Slater, and Brian Pillman by pinfall. These were 2 8-man tag matches with the winning tag teams facing each other to narrow down to 4 people to fight for the crowning of the World Heavyweight Champion. And in the main event, we see Yokozuna defeat Braun Breaker by pinfall. Over to week 2 now. Cesaro versus Titus O'Neil ends in a time limit draw. Jake Gemini, Reggie, and Ricky Morton defeated Norman Smiley, Simon Dean, and Johnny Gargano by pinfall. And the main event was see Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Roddy Piper by pinfall. Over to Superstars of Week 2, and you had Original Midnight Express and the Nasty Boys in a time limit draw. Nathan Jones would defeat Cody Rhodes by pinfall. The Usos defeated the Good Brothers by pinfall. Jericho, John Morrison, X-Pac, and Bob Backlund defeated LOD, Marty Jannetty, and Jesse Gemini by pinfall, eliminating them from that opportunity. Main event was Yokozuna defeat Jerry Lynn by pinfall. Under Week 3, Macho Man Randy Savage will make his debut and defeat Norman Smiley by pinfall. Chris Candido defeats Don Morocco by pinfall. And the main event will see Larry Zbyszko defeat Spike Dudley, Roddy Piper, and Sylvan by pinfall. Over to Superstars those, Nathan Jones defeated Reggie by pinfall. Braun Breaker defeats Cody Rhodes, William Regal, and A-Train by pinfall to become the one of two people to fight for the middleweight championship, which will be represented based by the Intercontinental belt and all the versions of that. The Original Midnight Express, I should say, defeats Usos, Rock and Roll Express, Nasty Boys, and Gemini System by pinfall. And Yokozuna defeats Heath Slater by pinfall. The main would see Chris Jericho and John Morrison defeat X-Pac and Bob Backlund, so they are now squared away to fight at the first pay-per-view. Week 4 took place, and it was Sylvan defeating Reggie by pinfall. Macho Man Randy Savage defeats Norman Smiley by pinfall. And the main event would see Batista defeat Don Morocco by pinfall. Over to Superstars, though, as Doink the Clown defeats Larry Zbyszko by pinfall. Rock and Roll Express defeats the Usos by pinfall. Nathan Jones defeated Shinsuke Nakamura by pinfall. Marty Jannetty defeats Jerry Lynn, Darren Young, and Brian Pillman by pinfall. And the main event was the Yokozuna defeat Bob Backlund by pinfall. Over to the pay-per-view now, as the match card for Starrcade looked like this, as X-Pac versus Bob Backlund. A 6-man tag team match takes place. Brian Pillman versus Yokozuna, triple threat tag team match. Marty Jannetty versus Braun Breaker. LOD versus the Original Midnight Express. And the main event will see Chris Jericho versus John Morrison. Over to Velocity now, as Justin Gabriel defeats Norman Smiley by pinfall. Sylvan defeats Simon Diamond by pinfall. The Good Brothers defeated Johnny Gargano and Spike Dudley by pinfall. The main event would see Cesaro defeat Don Morocco by pinfall. And into Starrcade, as Bob Backlund opened the show and defeats X-Pac by submission with a crossface chicken wing. William Regal, A-Train, and Nathan Jones defeated Cody Rhodes and the Usos by pinfall. Yokozuna continues his undefeated streak by beating Brian Pillman by pinfall. The Gemini System defeats Rock and Roll Express and the Nasty Boys by pinfall, earning a future tag team title shot. Marty Jannetty, with the help of Cody Rhodes, defeats Braun Breaker by pinfall, inadvertently with the help of Cody Rhodes. And LOD defeats the Original Express by pinfall to win the tag team titles. The main event will see Chris Jericho defeat John Morrison by pinfall. So here are your champions currently. You got Chris Jericho as the world champion, Marty Jannetty snagging the title, and LOD winning the tag team championship. That's all for this week. As always, feedback is always welcomed. Stay tuned for the September into October and announcement of the new number one contender. Who it could be, you'll have to find out next time.